Good evening, and welcome to the Something Fishy Studios dungeon! Yes! Come closer. Let me get a look at you. I am Doc Kane. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back, my fishies. Let me readjust everything here. And in case you don't know, it is Teach It Tuesday. And, of course, today's Teach It Tuesday is how to be scary. Because, I mean, that's what we do on Halloween, right? One sec. And let's face it, there are a few things that you need in order to be scary come Halloween. And it's not just a great mask or costume to go with it. There's a lot more that goes into being scary. And what is that, you might ask? Well, that is what we are going to learn today. Now, a lot of people will tell you, oh, just get you a scary costume. Look like one of these three guys. Well, that's all well and good. But the true question is, do you know how and what to do once you get into the costume? Now, it's a little hot here in the dungeon because got a heater going. It's been kind of cool lately. But here's what you need to know about being scary for Halloween. Now, whether you're this guy, the Mystic Ninja, Jason, that guy, either one of those two, or these guys. What you got to keep in mind is being scary is character building. It's acting. And what I like to do is I sit and look at a mask. I start thinking about what I'm going to wear with the costume. Now, if it's a complete costume like the ninja costume, it's a little bit simpler, but you got to factor in what's the voice sound like, how do they move, what accessories can I add to it to make it more realistic. And there's where you get your scare. Making people think that whatever creature, goblin, ghoul you're dressed as is real. That's where the ultimate fear comes from. Now, let's take Hellbilly Jack, for example. I mean, yeah, he's kind of gruesome. But what makes him scarier is what I bring to the character. Now, of course, a good pair of gloves can definitely help. But the finger movements, of course, adding a weightlifting glove fingerless gloves to it. One, this helps keep it where you want it on your hand, for one. And two, it brings a more realistic element to it. At least I think so, anyways. And, like I said, realism's the key. Now, of course, anybody that's ever been downtown on Halloween and has seen me wear this mask, old hillbilly here, they've noticed that he's kind of hunched over. Now, you can just throw on some overalls, flannel plaid jacket, and do a voice, and it's all well and good. But the necessity of hillbilly being like this when he walks, that's where the eye holes are. And it kind of just happened, and I had my niece record it one year, and I got to see just how creepy it looks. So I kind of hunched just a little bit more, just for the added creepiness. And that's another thing you got to keep in mind. How does your character move? Not only how do they talk, but how do they move? And it's all about your movements. Making sure that people believe that whatever character, goblin, ghoul you are is absolutely real. That's where the fear comes in. Now, of course, if you're going as Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees, that tall stature and just that slow head turn with that dead stare, just the emotionless stare. Now, if your eyes are hidden like on Hillbilly there, you can get away with grinning a little bit behind the mask. Now, say you're setting up for a haunted house or just your front porch, your front yard maybe. The statue, that is a great way to scare people. It takes little effort. And, normal breathing, your body kind of moves as you breathe. Now, the trick is being still as a statue, like this. And what you want to do is slow your breathing down. And I know that can sound scary, and it can be a little difficult, but with plenty of practice, you can do this. You just take your time taking your breath and exhaling slowly. This helps to give the illusion that you're a statue. And I recommend a pose that, you're not going to get tired of, that, that you can gently and slowly distribute which leg you're putting your weight on. Or if you can be sitting in a chair, it's way easier. And one year when I was younger, I was dressed as a vampire, and I had my cloak like this. And I was sitting in a chair. Once the trick-or-treaters come past, knock on the door, I would get up, throw my arms out with my cape, and give him a maniacal laugh of, and that's another thing. Character building. I mean, I like to sit there, look at a mask, and think, okay, what does this guy sound like? You know, hillbilly, kind of a sling blade. I tell you what, I like it when they run, 'cause I like fast food. Sorry. Been a while. Whew. And it's just like the ninja. Welcome to the dungeon. You got to think of, what does that character sound like? And of course, a clown. I mean, if you haven't seen Killer Clowns from Outer Space, I highly recommend it. I mean, it's a little on the terrifying side. Well, a lot if you're terrified of clowns. But do your research. You know, look into various characters that you want to be. I mean, of course, Jack Sparrow, if you're going to be a pirate, you know, he's conducting an orchestra. You know, be the character. Once you put that mask on, become that character. Embody everything about it, and let your creativity fly. Guaranteed, you're going to be terrifying some kids. Which, of course, my experience with Hillbilly Jack, the Scarecrow, old Gobby over here, I tend to scare parents more than I scare kids. And that can happen. And to me, it's actually pretty hilarious, watching the parents be more terrified than their kids. Of course, you know, there was a time that, yeah, I was scaring the kids more than I was scaring the adults. And then it kind of balanced out. And that's something else you got to keep in mind. You know, you don't want to traumatize a kid. I mean, and that's very easily done. And always remember, if you're doing a haunted house, keep about that much distance. You know, stay out of arm's length from who you're scaring, because you can get hit real easy. And trust and believe, the mask does not help in cushioning the blow. And of course, you've always got the kid that's going to go straight for the shins like they've been taught. And if you've been kicked in the shins, you know how that feels. But you got to understand, I take Halloween pretty seriously. I mean, I am pagan, so it is a very serious holiday for me. But I like to have fun too. And nothing better than going out and going on a scare page. You know, rampage, scare page. You get the joke. Crap joke. Okay. But you get what I'm saying. And I have a lot of fun with it. No matter what character I go as, I'm always having fun with it. And there's a lot of times that, you know, I'll revisit a character like Hillbilly and I will come up with a new little piece of his character. You know, and to me, like Hillbilly Jack here, he is kind of a comedian. You know, it's Michael Myers, Jason, and Freddy all rolled into one. You know, he finds what he does an absolute hoot. I tell you what, these kids, they just don't understand things today. But when I'm chasing them, makes my blood just warm and fuzzy. That's enough out of you, okay? And there's another thing. If you want to practice ventriloquism, go for it. I mean, it's a whole lot harder than it looks. I mean, you could definitely see, that I was the one talking. But somebody like Darcy Lynn, fellow Oklahoman and now movie star, she is fantastic at it, and she can even sing and do it at the same time. I mean, it's something to look into. If you love Halloween and you love scaring people and you want to have a lot more fun with it and be able to laugh about it and tell your friends, oh man, you ain't going to believe this. Of course, one of these days, I'll get my mother on camera to do her witch cackle. I have watched it bring 6 foot, 300-pound man to his knees begging for mercy. And it can be heard for a 3-block radius. It will send chills down your spine. It's great. I love it. My BFF, on the other hand, she absolutely is terrified of my mother in the witch mask doing the voice. It's hilarious to me. And to my mother. She gets a kick out of it just as much as I do. It's where I get it from. She used to scare the daylights out of me as a kid. But that's the joy of Halloween. It's just one night of scariness. And yeah, the world right now is overall a pretty scary place in itself. But if you can have a little fun with it, go for it. I mean, safe, traditional, fun on Halloween is what it's all about. There's nothing better. And from time to time, you get a little extra candy at the end of the night. And who doesn't like a little extra candy, right? But it's what you got to think about is, who is this? Whose skin are you wearing on Halloween? What do they sound like? How do they move? Ninja, it's... And when you've got a mask where the eyes are very visible, it's all in the eyes. The eyes can convey a lot of emotion. Be it sinister, hysterical, straight psychopath. And that's something else that you need to look at, and think about is, what emotion do I want to convey, and you could even be doing a simple half mask with your face painted. And it's all about the expression in your face. The more that you can play with that, the better off you're going to be. And the more scared you're going to get. And it's all up to you on exactly how you approach the character. Like I said, for me, I look at, like this guy right here, leader of a clown army. He's going to have sort of a drill sergeant voice. That's what I hear in my head. But it's going to be a little off. For him,
You clowns need to stand at attention when I walk into the room.
You know, he's been around a while. Yeah, it's similar to Hillbilly Jack, just less country, more military. And we all have somebody in our lives, our family members, friends that's been in the military a long time, the older generation, not so much the newer generation. They've got that gruff, matter of fact tone to their voice. And then you just make it creepier.
You stand at attention.
And throw a wisecrack joke in there. Every time I watch Friday the 13th, and the time that, he chunks the machete, sticks the guy through the back, Hillbilly Jack in that situation.
Straight through the heart, and you're to blame. You give blood a good name.
And it gets the laugh. It's something horrific just happened. But at the same time, it's comedic. And, that's Hillbilly Jack. That's his style. The "you better run, I like fast food" joke.
Gonna gut you like a deer, make a stew out of you. Eat on you for days.
It's all about the delivery. Think of what kind of character you want to be for Halloween and dive into it. Dive into the psychological past of this character, this mask that you're staring at, that you're going to be wearing. Who do you want to come out? The Vampire Niner here, which we just built yesterday.
He's kind of an old miner. Yeah, I like to dig your skull and mine it for gold, I would.
Something like that. Just right offhand, he's old, he's a vampire, he's undead, and he's short. Of course, growing up, I watched shows like Punky Brewster, Wolf Gloomer, and I started mimicking the voices that I heard until I could perfect them, to the best of my ability. And I continued it all the way up through adulthood. And
my precious Trixies, dirty hobbitses.
I practice at it. And that's another part of it. Practice, 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 practice. If you want to get good at something, you gotta practice. That's with anything in life. The more you practice, the better you get at it. Now, achieving perfection at it, some people can, other people can't. A vast majority will probably never perfect a single thing in their entire life. That's just reality. Yeah, there are some of those that are very gifted and talented enough that they can perfect their craft. Watch a lot of the behind the scenes documentaries on movies. How actors get into their character. Research interviews of them talking about it to find how best to do it. And once you've got your character figured out, and we've got a week or two till Halloween, so you've got plenty of time after watching this video to better choose what you're going to be for Halloween. Wow, all these voices has put a strain in the little voice box. I haven't done it in a while. But that's another thing to keep in mind. Keep you a bottle of throat spray handy too. Or, use a cough drop to kind of help your character. It's very, very, very important. And I mean, if I had a couple of cough drops either side or a piece of candy, Marlon Brando, eat your heart out. You know? But, back to basics. Select your character, you know, whatever costume that, you know, you want to go with for Halloween. Become that character. Now, don't go full tilt boogie psycho with it, you know, and actually hurt somebody, because we do not want that at all. That would be horrible. Okay? Just be playful with it and know where the boundary is. You know, reaching out and actually grabbing somebody. I mean, if you know them, go for it. You know, if you know you can get away with it, go ahead. But somebody you don't know, yeah, don't do that. No. That's uncalled for. But have fun with your character. You know, pick a costume, figure out what they sound like, how they move, you know, work on slowing your breathing, changing your voice, getting the eyes, you know, if the mask shows your eyes. And I mean, if it's an existing character that you've seen in a movie, easy peasy lemon squeezy. Just mimic exactly what you've seen them do in the movie. And that's all there is to it. And of course, it's getting a little on the late side. I've got to get this wrapped up. So, costume, mannerisms, name, voice. Well, I mean, just scroll back and you can piece it back together. But you get what I'm saying. Become your character. If you want to do Halloween right, become the character. If you're the good witch from Wizard of Oz, oh, you're so delightful. If you're the wicked witch,
I'll get you, my pretty, and your little dog, too.
Of course, my mother could do it way better. Again, I will have her do it at some point. And I know she'll love to do it. Because she gets a kick out of it. But, just be safe about it. You know, make sure that, you know, you get all the accessories for a costume. And if you think the character's missing something, add it. I mean, Hellbilly Jack was just a mask. I took a beat up old cowboy hat, made a chain hat band for it, you know, stuck it on, and my friend said, you know, oh, it's just the ghostly hillbilly. And the idea popped into my head. Aha. I have a new character. And of course, he also looks like Rob Zombie on the cover of Hellbilly Deluxe, which is where Hellbilly Jack comes from. And that's basically all there is to it. You've just got to figure out who that mask is. You know, if it's not a traditional one like Freddy, Jason, Michael Myers, you know, Chucky, you know, something like that, come up with something. You know, make it unique. Something that nobody's seen yet. I mean, I've got one in mind for this Halloween, and really hoping that I can get everything together to be able to do this, because this new character, I have plans. And I do think quite a few people are going to be screaming. Yes. Scream. scream they will, and excite me at the same time. Until next time, everybody, hope you have a great week. We'll see you Thursday for Travel Thursday. And much love. Rock on. Keep it spooky, everybody. Peace out.